I'm going to talk about a concept I call what's next thinking. Okay. There's this whole kumbaya, meditative, unicorn and rainbows all the time mentality of the idea of staying in the moment, right? Be in the moment, appreciate the moment. I agree with that to a certain extent, but I change it. Okay. If you're just in the moment, you're just there, static. So I equate be in the moment with being static. You're not doing anything. You're not moving. And stagnancy creates what? Think of stagnant water. Just sits there and festers and starts to stink, even if it's for a micro fraction of a second, right? It's like that it's the matrix, literally. If you're in the moment, you're just taking that snapshot. If you're aware of the moment but thinking what's next, you get to imprint into reality what you want to happen next. So how does this apply? If you've listened to this podcast, you know that I believe sports is a great analogy for life. Prepare yourself, compete, win, advance. Simple as that. Prepare yourself, compete, lose, learn, get better, compete, win, advance. That's how it is, right? So what would be next level thinking? Bam. Yo, what's up, everybody? This is the End-to-End Podcast, and I am your host, Dr. Yun Nguyen. And as you may know, or if you're new to the show, my friends affectionately call me Ninja or the Prolific Ninja. And because my fans are my friends, you can call me Ninja too. This is the End-to-End Podcast, the Alpha to the Omega, the beginning to the end, talking about life, motivation, drive, self-improvement, success, and offering you morsels in this all-you-can-eat buffet called life. Back in the studio, loving it. Day, I think, 11 or 12, 75 hard. Talk about that in a minute, but I want to start out with my show as I start my day. And if you're new to the show, I always start my shows with an expression of gratitude. So everyone out there listening, sharing, liking, commenting, leaving reviews, thank you so very much. And again, if you're new to the show, I do this on my own dime. I do this on my own time. I spend a lot of money on this just to get a message out. I feel I feel a calling to give back to the world for the blessings that I've received through life. If you're new to the show, I'm a physician, lawyer, entrepreneur, business guy. I've had modest success by my terms throughout life. Not even close to where my goals are, but it's been a good life so far. And I feel with that grace and blessing, it's an opportunity to give back to our mission, which is to inspire billions of people across this planet to get better and self-improve and try to realize or actualize their goals. So the way we do that is a value exchange. I do this on my own money. So the only way we grow the show is through you, and that is by sharing this show. So as I like to say, if your knowledge swole, share the show. That's how we grow. If you learned something, giggled, laughed, felt inspired, felt a spark of something that made you want to go do something today, please do share this show or any of my past shows. The growth has been tremendous. I think we're 10, 11,000 followers like that on Facebook. Multiple thousands of followers across the board, all platforms. The show's been shared quite often, so thank you for that, and we can only continue to hope to grow the show, and that's through your participation in sharing the show. This particular episode is kind of impromptu, improvising. I got to use my lawyer skills this time because we're expecting to have a guest. Guest didn't show up. I'm here. Equipment's ready. Studio set up. Got to record the show. This particular show, before I get into it, though, talking about the 75 hard, I'm going to give you just some insight. This is my fourth round of 75 hard, invented by a great entrepreneur, patriot, Andy Frisella, who is the founder, CEO of First Form Supplement Company, etc. If you're new to that, it's 75 days straight, 2 workouts a day, 45 minutes. 1 is outdoors, gallon of water, got to read 10 pages. Stick to a diet, take a selfie every day, and what else? No booze for 75 days straight. Self-accountability. If you screw up, day 74, you got to start back over day 71. It's not really a fitness thing. It's actually a program for mental durability, endurance, and mental focus and sharpness. And the reason I do it one time in the fall is because I want my mind sharpened as we head into the winter. And if you reference my last episode, that's because most people in the fourth quarter or the winter time slow down. They're gearing up for parties, family, reunions, buying gifts, turkey, pie, all this stuff, all these things where you just let your guard down. And I like to do the opposite. I've always been a contrarian, which means do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. So for me, doing 75 hard now allows me to widen the gap on my competitors primarily, or getting closer to my goals. While everybody's slowing down, I'm speeding up or getting sharper and maintaining that focus. If you reference my episode, I think like 73 or 72, is about maintaining a tightness, be tight, right? So that's me into the fourth quarter. And then that momentum I carry at the start of the year. So people slow down, make these grand New Year's resolutions, don't even get started till, late January. Ultimately, they end up not realizing their resolutions, or they're way off track. They feel depressed, demoralized by February, March, and have to start all over again. That's not me. I'm sharp. I'm going straight through January on a full sprint. I've already got my momentum. I'm in stride. I'm cruising in January by doing 75 hard now. But I only say that because, I would implore you to consider doing a program like this, something where you have to express mental discipline over a long period of time to build your mental endurance that's required to live your fulfilled life for your own growth and success. But secondly, though, I say this because I almost fell off the wagon. This past weekend, if you're new to the show, I have a teenage boy who's actually pretty good at hoops. So we're going to camps, college camps, trying to get recruited. He's a junior in high school, just started his junior year, playing varsity. But anyway, we had a camp in East Texas, about 4 hours away. That was on Saturday. A camp that started early on Sunday in San Antonio. So that's 4 hours up, 6 hours out. Saturday night, didn't get to the hotel till midnight after all the driving, the camping, etc. And I realized I had the second workout to do, and I had to read my 10 pages. So you can imagine how exhausted I was and how easy it would have been to say, fuck it. Let me just start over. It's only day 10. Let me just redo these 10 days. But you see, that is the point of a program like this, is to force yourself mentally to say, fuck that. Let's just get it done. And that's what's going to be required. As an example or analogy, granted, this is just a workout and read 10 pages. And if you've done something like this or have never had to do something like this, you're exhausted. It's midnight. The bed is staring at me right there. Could have been easy just to kick the shoes off, jump into bed, and get some rest. But the idea of the challenge or the program is to be able to say no to the easy way out. The ability to say no to the easy way out, right? You have to learn how to do this in order to be successful. There will be many times on your path. There's been many times on my path. You fucked up, you had a failure, somebody treated you wrong. It's just a lot of things go haywire, go wrong, more than they go right on the pathway to success. They go wrong. And it would be easy to just call it in and say, okay, whatever, let's just throw in the towel, move on, etc. But it's that fight, the fight that you have to come from the inside and say, no, I'm better than that. Or no, I can do this. Or no, I'm stronger than that to just give up. And so that's just a microcosm. And that's the benefit of doing the 75 hard program or something like that, where you have to exert mental discipline and self-accountability. Both absolutely required to be successful. So yeah, got to bed at 1 a.m. About 1:30 a.m. on Saturday night. Only because the workout, I always take pre-workout. And if you do pre-workout, that'll keep you up for a little while. But that's not the topic for today. I just share that to you to share experiences and what is required mentally in order to be successful in life. However you define success, I define it as living to your fullest controllable potential. And the ability to say no to the easy route is definitely in your control. This particular episode, though, is different. I'm going to talk about a concept I call what's next thinking. Okay? There's this whole kumbaya, meditative, unicorn and rainbows all the time mentality of the idea of staying in the moment, right? Be in the moment, appreciate the moment. I agree with that to a certain extent, but I change it, okay? You see, time to me is if you imagine time going across the x-axis or across the horizon, right? And there's a vertical line for those of y'all that are audio only. Imagine an XY axis. So the X is time, Y is the present moment. The present moment is just a static snapshot in time, right? It doesn't contemplate what happened in the past, and it certainly does not contemplate what happens in the future. It is just a static moment in time. So next to that intersection, that perpendicular intersection between the static moment in time and time on the x-axis is imagine a sphere or a circle or a ball. That's you, right? So it can't go backwards, but it can't go forward if you're just thinking about the present moment. You see, there's constant, wherever that ball, the circle touches that vertical line of present moment, that's where you are, exactly where you are. So I like to say, instead of be in the moment, I say be aware of the moment. Because if you just stick yourself in the moment, you're not moving anywhere. You're just you're static. You're right there. And it could be for a micro fraction of a second, but you're static. So if you're be in the moment, things can change in a heartbeat. And so you're unprepared for what might be next after that moment, right? You might miss an opportunity, or you might miss some type of risk that is over the horizon, or you might miss, a minor detail that can set your pathway entirely astray. Just like a golf, if you've ever played golf, like a millimeter at the moment of impact between ball and golf club head can translate to multiple yards down the fairway, right, where you miss a shot. So if you're just in the moment, you're just there, static. So I equate being in the moment with being static. You're not doing anything. You're not moving. And stagnancy creates what? Think of stagnant water. Just sits there and festers and starts to stink, even if it's for a micro fraction of a second. And the reason, that timing, micro fraction of a second, is because, I believe in, quantum physics and the metaphysics. And so particles can exist in multiple places at one time if you really dig into it. Sounds kooky and quirky and out there, crazy. But the reality is the physics show particles, the same particle can exist in two spots at the same time through quantum physics. And so if you're static, you're unable to enforce your will on the energy and the vibration around you, right? If you're just thinking about being in the moment, you're just stuck in that moment, right? The reality is you, through your mind, your heart, your soul, and your body, are able to force your idea of the future into existence, right? And if you're only thinking about the moment, you can't do that because you're not able to push out what's next for you, right? So that's why I say you be aware of the moment, not be in the moment, be aware. Understand what's going on. Develop the skills to be aware of the moment, of your surroundings, environmental awareness, and situational awareness, right? Understand, okay, this is what I see, this is what I'm hearing, this is what I'm smelling, this is my vibe, this is the energy I'm feeling. That's awareness of the moment, but that's not being in the moment. Being in the moment is I'm here, and you're not moving anywhere. I'm here, and this is the current situation. That's be in the moment. Being aware of the moment is let me observe and take in what's going around me with the idea of what's next. Okay, that's the 1 plus. The 1 is be in the moment, be aware of the moment. The plus is, okay, what's next? Given what I'm aware of the current moment, you have to have what's next thinking. Because it's that what next thinking is your imprint of energy into the universe to force or formulate what's coming next, right? It's like that it's the matrix, literally. If you're in the moment, you're just taking that snapshot. If you're aware of the moment but thinking what's next, you get to imprint into reality what you want to happen next. I'll give you a prime example. This is where I learned this, where I observed this in my own life. This is, gosh, man. This was in elementary school, to be honest with you. This is like, and I was going to save this for my book, but I'll just say it right now. In elementary school, we would have math competitions. And for the entire 5th grade, we're doing triple digit math. So addition in the hundreds with multiple numbers, right? So it'd be like, for example, 183 plus 326 plus 942, and like a string of numbers that we had to add up. And it was a competition. Life is a competition. So we would have competitions in class where we'd get up to the chalkboard, 3 or 4 or 5 of the students. Our teacher, I want to say Miss Bergenovich back then. If you're still around, Miss Bergenovich, thank you so much for being a part of my upbringing, right? Expression of gratitude. Thank you so much. You don't know how influential you were, or all my teachers have been in the formulation of my life. But thank you so much, Miss Bergenovich, and all my teachers from Shadow Oaks Elementary in Houston, Texas. Shadow Oaks Owls, shout out. But we would have 3, 4, 5 students at the chalkboard, and she would call out each number at a time. And we would have to write each number in columnar form and then ultimately add up the, 5 or 6 3-digit numbers. And whoever finished first won. And we'd be in teams, etc., right? However many people in your team finished first. For me, I went the year undefeated. Why? How? Because at that moment, that's when I realized, be aware of the current moment, but think about what's next. So what I saw is other students, let's say the first number is 133. So the students would run 133. The Ms. Bergenovich would say, okay, the next number is 256. And then the students write 256 and turn around and wait for the next number. They were just sitting there, having been satisfied in the moment of writing down the number, right? Me, I'm thinking what's next. So what I did is, as I'm writing the number, I added the numbers in the ones column in my head as she was telling us the number. So 133, okay, 133. 256, okay, 256, 6 plus 3 is 9. So I already have the ones units figured out as she reels off, 5 or 6 3-digit numbers. And so when she says go, I already have the ones column. I already write it down. I'm ready. I've already done the math in my head as we're calling out the numbers because of my mind of thinking what's next. Okay, the objective here is to finish first in this competition. Granted, it's elementary school. I'm probably crazy for thinking about all this that young, but the objective is to finish first. And to finish first, it's an element of time. And so for me to get quicker and have the fastest time, let me do as much work in my head as I possibly can before she says go. So she says go, I already write the number in the ones column, having added up 5 or 6 numbers already. Boom, here we go, and then we just go, right? It was a hack at the time, but it was the idea of the mentality of what's next thinking. Because again, you're that circle in that graph. You have 2 lines perpendicular, your circle right at the tangent where it's touching the vertical line is the present moment. If you think of that circle as spinning against the line and constantly pushing that moment forward, that's next up thinking. What's next thinking? Okay? So how does this apply? If you've listened to this podcast, you know that I believe sports is a great analogy for life. Prepare yourself, compete, win, advance. Simple as that. Prepare yourself, compete, lose, learn, get better, compete, win, advance. That's how it is, right? So what would be next level thinking? Well, the better you prepare in sports, there's a book, oh man, I forget which time, Thinking Fast and Slow. I want to say that's the book, but the idea is that what separates the most elite athletes and really good athletes is their ability to slow down time and prepare for what's next. They visualize and absorb their inputs and they slow the game down so it makes everything seem easy, so the decision making for what's next becomes quick. It looks quick, but they're actually slowing things down. So the more you prepare in game and situations you see, you know what's happening, but you're already thinking about what's next. Where's the next pass? Where's the next shot? Where's the open space in the field or the court or wherever? You're already thinking what's next subconsciously, as opposed to slower players okay, this just happened. This just happened. This just happened. This just happened. It's a reaction versus a proaction when you're thinking what's next versus this is what is now. Okay, it's a very esoteric, slight, subtle difference in mentality, but it's when you're thinking what's next, that's where you can actually win. How does this apply in my life? When I take depositions or at court or trial or I'm interviewing or I'm talking to witnesses, whatever, it's not I'm asking what is the current question. Because you see, I want to know what a specific answer is. So I've got to lead in my questioning in a legit way to get the witness to the point where I want to get them. So each question I ask is with the idea of what the next question is, what's next. And that helps move the witness to where I want them to be. Right? And that allows you to have this thinking now of there's a second level to this. So you're aware of now, thinking what's next, but then when you think about what's next, that allows you another level of thinking where you're very, very strategic. I call it if-then thinking, because in the what's next, if this, then I'm going to do that. If this, then I'm going to do that instead. If this, I'm going to do this instead. That allows you to have the ultimate, oh man, how should I say this? This is like gold. That allows you to have the ultimate play in your head strategically on how to get to your goal. And I'm going to do a whole nother podcast on that idea of thinking. But it's exactly like chess, right? Here's the chessboard, right? Grandmasters, champions in chess, and I'm not one of those, which I'm actually looking to try to get into the game of chess. I didn't really play it much when I was a youth. It was games like Stratego and things like that. Still strategy games, but chess as the ultimate strategic game. Grandmasters or champions in chess, it's not what's the next move. It's what's 5 moves down the line. Setting up the pieces now for 5 moves down the line and ultimately get checkmate. Right? That's super what's next thinking. They see the board. Okay, I'm aware of what it is now. I'm aware of what my opponent is trying to do. Let me think about 5 moves ahead. And when you develop this what's next thinking, that's when you actually get a huge amount of momentum and build up a huge amount of momentum on the way to your goal. Why is that? Because you're already thinking about every single contingency that's going to happen. So you're avoiding more mistakes with what's next thinking. And if you avoid more mistakes, what happens? You lose less time. You hit the right green lights to keep compounding your wins going forward. And success happens real quick when you think about what's next thinking. It's like the S-curve podcast that I was talking about. You think of the end goal, come back. It's the same thing. This is the opposite. The S-curve is you think of the end goal, work your way back, all the contingencies, and then execute. This is similarly, but you're doing this as you're moving forward on the S goal. You're thinking, what's next, what's next, what's next, what's next? Okay, so the idea here is don't be in the moment. I hate that. Oh, you just got to be in the moment. No, I don't. Right? I'm aware of the moment, but I'm not here in the moment. I'm already thinking what's next. Some of the haters out there will say, well, man, if you're always thinking about what's next, you're never satisfied. You're never happy because you're never in the moment to be happy. No, that's completely wrong. If you are aware of the moment, you can still be happy in the moment. You're here, I'm thinking, I'm in my supercar, I'm driving, I'm in the moment. I'm aware of how fast I'm going. I'm aware of the noise of the engine. I'm aware of the speed, the rush in my body, the adrenaline. I'm aware of how focused I need to be on the road going whatever, 100 and whatever plus miles an hour. I'm definitely aware and I am ecstatic. But if I was just aware of that and not thinking about what's down the road, what's next, no. If you're going ultra fast, you got to think about what's next. You got to see down the road what's next, or you're going to wreck. You see how that is? You're never satisfied. You're never in the moment. You never stop to smell the roses. No. I want to own the garden. I don't want to smell the roses. I want to own the garden. And to do that requires me to think about what's next. Where do I plant the seeds? Where's the richest soil? How do I water? Where do I get the water? I got to think what's next. I'm here in the moment, smelling some flowers, but I want to own the garden. That's what's next. So the idea is the idea is that as an entrepreneur, you're never satisfied anyways. Champions, winners are just never satisfied. When you win, okay, how do I get my next win? Because why? Winning is expected already. So if I'm expecting to win as if I'm already there, yeah, I'll celebrate, but I'm already on to what's next. There's never a moment to just stop. But stopping is being in the moment. You stop. Winning is thinking about what's next. And so, my friends, be aware of the moment. Enjoy it. Be aware of it, but be constantly thinking what's next. When you do that, you understand what it takes to keep progressing down that pathway of success for you. Day 11, 75 hard. I'm thinking what's next? What's next is I got to read my 10 pages and do 2 more workouts and finish drinking my gallon of water a day. But glad to bring you another episode. Very improvised, impromptu. Hopefully it came off well. If you enjoyed this content, please do like, comment, share, follow, subscribe. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Please do. It helps us rank higher in the lifestyle, business, self-improvement categories of podcasts. As I say, if your knowledge swell, share the show. That's how we grow. That's the only way we grow. I do this on my own dime, on my own time. Obviously, I'm wearing a Legacy X t-shirt, LEGX, a Legacy X token. Not a sponsor, but it's my company. So, shameless mini plug. If you're into crypto, if you're into opportunities in that, please check out legacyxtoken.com. But most importantly, share the show. And I'm going to end the show as I end my day with an expression of gratitude to the universe. So I'm grateful for everyone out there who spent the time to... What's up, Fantastic Friday? What's up, yo? Let's go. Lost train of thought. Yo. All of a sudden, bam.